Okay, welcome to our weekly learning in the office. We have the good honor to be able to thank together Hashem Yisbarach for the good news this week of Donald J. Trump being elected the American president, and it's a big help for the US and for the whole, free world, if there is such a free world, and hopefully we'll see only good news come out from their government. I'm sure there'll be a bit of a balagan, but generally they're good people involved, and hopefully it will be with Besoros Tovos for Am Yisrael, for the world, for humanity, and everyone who was pushing and praying for it. Baruch Hashem, we can see the tefillah's work, and fighting against evil is always something which is not easy, but it's something that's worthwhile no matter what the result. And in this case, we saw that Hashem gave us a big hatzlacha, Baruch Hashem, big success for the people who want to protect values, even if they're not perfect, but they want to protect values and they want to protect freedom of speech and build freedom of business and all the different things that are important for humanity to be fruitful and to please God, to continue on in the right way and bring hopefully a step towards the Gula Shlema, because Am Yisrael have to wake up more and more as we go ahead in Golas. And part of this Golas is Hashem gives us a festival of Chanukah. It's the last of all the Yom Tovim. We just learned the first sif in Hilchos Chanukah, Laws of Hanukkah in Siman 139 in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. And we're learning about the importance of lighting the menorah and doing the mitzvahs of Hanukkah, because being that it's the last of all the Yom Tovim, of all the festivals, we have the ability to get exactly the right kind of advice, Eitzot, Simcha and Yeshuot from the Chag that will give us a chizuk that we need, especially the winter time, the dark time of the seasons, the darker time of the year, the darker time of history. It gives us the light in the darkness, the clarity to look at the lights of menorah is a tremendous koyach, and we're going to talk about it more, please God, when we learn Bnei Yissacher, which we'll do after learning halachas. We'll get into all the panemius of what Chanukah is, even though that we're still right now in Chodesh Cheshvan, with Parshas Lech Lecha. And as I said already last week, we saw with Noach when the olive branch came back in the Yona's mouth, in the dove's mouth, we learn out from that branch of Zayat was part of what's going to be the Zayat Shemen that would light in the Beit Hamikdash. So there's always a remez in every parsha leading up, every parsha Bereshis, the Or of Bereshis, Parshas Bereshis. Lech Lecha, there's already remozim of the hint of Chanukah already there. So in every parsha, all the way through till Chanukah, we're going to see the light of Chanukah, and we'll try to bring it out a little bit. Because the light of Chanukah is the light of the Torah, the Oruch Mashiach, the light of Mashiach. We see the Oruch Mashiach of Avraham Avinu very much being someone who's bringing together the people of good in a time where he's pretty much against the whole world in some way or form. That's one of the reasons he's called Ivri, because he's standing opposite the whole world. And the idea of Ivri, he's over the Yam, he's over the Noah, he's the other side of good, towards the side of good, obviously bringing down the Chesed Hashem, the recognition of Hashem, bringing the world back to know Hashem, the Oruch of Avram. The Or Avram is the big light, and the Chesed and the kindness and the Achnasas Orchim and the mitzvahs. We'll talk a bit more about that in Parshat Vayera, but we see that he also has the Mochomes against the 4 and the 5 kings. These are wars of Mashiach. These are wars that are hinting to what's going to be L'Asad Lavo. And if you go through the parsha, you'll see that the fact that the Mila comes down at the end of the parsha. Mila is always the 8th day. We're going to talk about that with Chanukah. Ideally, it's on the 8th day, and so too Chanukah is 8 days. So there's a connection between the Mila and Chanukah and the whole celebration that we're going to do. So let's go into the halachas, and we'll see how it will come alive. Bez Hashem. Emisane b'mei Chanukah says in learning in Siman 139 Sif base. We do not fast during the days of Chanukah. Our b'yom shelafnei and b'yom shelachem, the days preceding, before and after Chanukah, miturin behesped b'tainis. It's funny because I'm sending out these emails every day to promote for Nissan Black, getting out bookings for him, Unity Bookings and other artists and speakers. And one of the things I always put in the email is that, before and after Chanukah he has a bit of availability, but Chanukah usually is pretty booked up. Actually, this year he still has a bit of availability out of interest. And Nissim himself very much connects to the Chag of Chanukah, being that his name's Nissim. It's all about miracles and bringing out the light from the darkness. Grew up in the hood and he came out from such a place. And but also in terms of fasting, so I remember when I got married, Chanukah itself, second night of Chanukah, Baruch Hashem, and we had Sheva brachas and the whole thing. As Chanukah went on, we climaxed the 8th day of Chanukah with our Sheva brachas. So it was the most lit up night of our climax of our Sheva brachas. Very nice way of doing a wedding and the Sheva brachas. But the second night of Chanukah, so the day of Chanukah, we didn't fast, as we just learned here. Even as a Chassan and Kala usually fast, we did not fast because that's the halacha. Chanukah mutar b'asiyas malacha. It's permitted to work on Chanukah ach hanoshim shenoga shelo la'asos malacha. However, women constantly refrain from work. Kozman sheneres shebebayas selekes. So the minhag is, why you light the Chanukah candles, women stop doing work. And part of the reason is so they can experience the light of Chanukah. Even though it's not asa to do malacha, you can go. Well, we can come back to the office. We can work. We can send wires. Please God, we can do business. We can buy things. We can work. All the different kinds of malachas you're able to do, but women have a custom during the times of Hadlachas Neiros, of the lighting of the candles of Chanukah while they're burning, to refrain from malacha. Let's see a little bit below, see what it says. Preferably it says in Mishnah Berurah, should not fast the day before Chanukah. For the laws of usual morning of Chanukah itself, we'll have to see later on. According to Mishnah Berurah, this restriction applies for half an hour. So this idea that women not doing malacha, doing work, applies for half an hour, the minimum amount of time that lights of the menorah should remain burning. So we're going to learn about that concept. There's a 30-minute time frame of watching the Neiros Chanukah. Part of that avoda of watching the Neiros Chanukah is, as we just mentioned before, we're tapping into the light of Avinu, the light of Mashiach. We said Adam the other day, Adam is Rosh Tevis, Avram, David, Mashiach. We're tapping into this light that's hidden within the Neiros Chanukah, and that's something which is only able to really access during that special half an hour when Pasumi Nisa, when the miracle is advertised, and that's a special light that comes down, descends from Shemayim into all the way down, even if, as we're going to learn about, all the way down to the lowest part of our home, below 10 tefachim, and it's in a place, according to Chassidim, on the left side of the door, and with the mezuzahs on the right, so surrounded by mitzvahs, you've got sisters on, and also you see this concept that we use like whatever kind of wicks. It doesn't have to be the best kind of quality, even though we Shemazayas min mifcha, we do use the best oil, but you don't have to Api Halacha, because you're able to elevate everything on Hanukkah. That's the idea. Even the lesser kinds of oils, the lesser kind of wicks, and you're able to elevate the lowest places where the Shekhinah normally wouldn't go, but on Hanukkah the Shekhinah descends all the way. Hanukkah mutar asiyas malacha. So we said we're allowed to do malacha, but all the time the neiros are burning in the house, we don't do malacha. Ein lahakal lehem. One should not be lenient, allow them to work. So really try teach to your family that this is an important time when lighting the neiros Hanukkah, and to tune into the mitzvah. One of the things what we do is we choose that to be the time once we've lit the neiros Hanukkahs, we say tefillah. We have a special kuntras, like a book filled with different prayers that we say. We sing together all the different songs of Hanukkah, and there is Hallelu and Alanissim and Yevonim, the whole long Ma'atzu Shuasi, the whole song. Sing it together. Usually one of my sons, especially the one in the army, he's able to play music, so he'll get out the piano if he's around, he'll play the organ, and we'll sing together, and we'll get gifts and play with the new toys with the kids. They're getting a bit older now, so it's slightly different, but that's how we used to always do it with the kids growing up. Chanukah mutar b'asiyas malacha. So we said it's still mutar though. It's not a vera, but it's just this is the minhag. The tam shenoshim machmuris yo. So the reason that women are more strict than us men in terms of this, mipnei shahaisa gezerah kasha al b'nos Yisrael. As we learned already, there was a tremendous gezerah on the daughters of Yisrael. They were trying to make impure, God forbid, the daughters of Yisrael, and Hashem protected them through the miracle of Chanukah. Because what was the gezerah? Shegazu basula hanesias. For the Greek authorities read that a maiden who was to be married to Baal Hagamon Tchile, he'd have to first sleep with the have relations with the governor. Additionally, women accepted upon themselves stringent because the miracle happened through a woman. It's through a woman that the miracle happened. So we have to realize that, who knows what the name of the woman is? Yehudis. Yehudis had a whole miracle. And we're gonna hear about that. Does it talk about it now? No, but we'll hear about it when it comes to the minhag to eat chalavi, to have milkiks on Chanukah. That we celebrate the minhag, not that way also, not just doing no malacha, but also by eating milkiks, because that helped the miracle of Yehudis. There's another story. The daughter of Yochanan, the high priest, was extremely beautiful. The tyrannical queen wished that she cohabit with him. She wanted she would acquiesce to his request. Oh, here we go. This is where it brings it. She fed him dairy dishes. So she gave him milk cakes so that he would become thirsty and drink wine. So that's one of the reasons why we have milk cakes. Once he drank wine, she and once he became intoxicated and fell into a deep sleep. This is what transpired. This Yehudis cut off his head and brought it to Yerushalayim. When the general of the army saw their king was killed, therefore some have the custom to eat dairy foods on Chanukah, in commemoration of the miracle that happened through what? Through milk. So you saw that the king was killed, the army fled, and it was all in the miracle of this righteous woman, like we have with also Yael. She did the same thing to Sisera. This was further back in history. She gave the general Sisera, when he came into her tent, milk and wine, and got him drunk and sleepy, and then he fell asleep, and then she killed him.
Chopped off his head.
Put a pin through his head, I think, first, and then chopped off his head. So then the idea that these were big Rishonim who were doing terrible things to Am Yisrael. So the righteous women, instead of just being passive, they took care of them, and just shows you. So that's the idea that we eat dairy foods on Chanukah. Zeichel and Neish and Nice Aidei Chalav. The miracle happened through what? The dairy products. So obviously there's some spirituality to eating milk cakes on Chanukah, just like there is Shavuot. It's not just whatever that we end up eating these milky foods. It's more than just commemorating a miracle that happened back in the day. There's kedusha in the food itself. One of the concepts is that l'chagi b'bakei chasdecha is Rosh Hashanah's chalav. So we see that the chalav has in it the idea of thanking for the kindness. Chalav also represents kindness, chesed. So the chesed Hashem is being grove on the gevurah of the goyim and the rishonim, and that's something which we have to commemorate. So that there we go. So that's the second and third halacha, Hilchos Chanukah. Let's see, should we do a little bit more? We've got another few minutes. So this is, we mentioned before, all oils are valid for Chanukah lights. Just like the miracle in the Mikdash was Shem and Zayas. If one's olive oil is not available, he should choose another oil that produces a clean flame, or neiris shel shava, or wax candles, imgam or zach, whose light is clear. However, they should not be made two candles to twist together like Havdalah candle. Okay, so let's just see it underneath. So men do not have a custom to refrain from work during this time. So if you're at work and it comes to time of lighting, and you're able to, you're sitting in your house working in your home office, and you can't be gone for long. I've worked at such an office where you have corporate times and they're not really going to give you much time off, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So you're not going to get the full half an hour. So you light the candle, sit with them for however long you can, and then you go back to your work, and it's mutter. you can go carry on doing malacha. Nevertheless, I would recommend, if you can get the full half an hour in somehow or another, either then or later, just to look at the candles, have a kedusha that it's worth davening in front of, especially at the time of lighting, and to really try to get the most out of that time. One of the concepts is that there's lamed vav neiris, 36 candles, because if you work it out, there's the first night 1, and it multiplies 2 to 3, and you add it all up, ends up being 36 candles. 36 is connected to 36 righteous tzaddikim. In every generation's 36 is connected the lamed vav masechtas of Shas. So some people have kavanah for each masechta of Shas. If you know Shas, like all the light of brachas is on the first night, the second night Shabbos and Erevin, the third night Pesachim. I have to remember all the masechtas now. Pesachim. Shkolem, I think Shkolem Yishami Shkolem is after Pesachim, and then we have etc. Anyway, we can go through all the Masechta Shas, but the point is, by the end, you've got all right now we're in Baba Basa, so that'd be like around the 4th, 5th night. You're tapping into the light of all the Masechtas of Shas, all the Tzaddikim, and that's a tremendous awe that's going on. The indication is that using any type of oil is permissible to us and using candles. So you're allowed to use any kind of light to light the menorah based on this, but obviously ideally it should be shemen zayis, like the pure olive oil, or wax candles, but it has to be a pure flame that creates a good light. But it's not obligational, it's just this is the mitzvah, doing it. Mitzvah's chavivasi, it's a dear mitzvah, as the Rambam says, we should try to do it the best. They should not be stuck to each other. So we mentioned already, it shouldn't be like a Havdalah candle. Okay, so we got to the middle of Halacha Dalet, and we'll carry on next time, please God. And Hey and Vav. Now we're going to learn a little bit now of Panemius, because there's Bnei Yissacher. So we'll get back to the rest of Hilchos Chanukah next week. Okay, so Chodesh Cheshvan. Maybe let's just, before we get to the Chodesh of Kislev, which is coming up, and it will help us understand the month which Chanukah falls out on, majority of Chanukahs. It does enter a little bit into Tevet, and this whole Tekufa we mentioned is connected the children of Yosef, Ephraim and Menashe. Ephraim was Tishrei, Menashe is Cheshvan, which we're now in, and Binyamin is the child of Rachel, who was the mother of Yosef as well. So it comes out Binyamin, and we have Rachel the YITZCHAK coming up as well, the mother of Yosef as well. So we have, this is the all right now, the children of Rachel Ameinu, Yosef and Binyamin, Ephraim and Menashe, and this is the Chodoshim we're in, and the months we're in, and we're connecting into that light this time of year. And it's important to realize the 7th and the 8th month, Tishrei and Cheshvan, are connected, and it's also, it says here that the Chodesh Hazeh Nikra Mikra Yireach Bu. It's called the month of Bu, which is one of the ways of explaining like Mabul, like a big flood. Nearly Alpi Devarim Dehine Lefima Sheksafti Near B'Divrei Chazal Chinuch Bais Hamikva Beis Shlishi Yibe Chodesh Hazeh Mar Cheshvan. We mentioned last time that the third Beit Hamikdash is very mesugul to be built during this time, during Mar Cheshvan. Hine Yidua Masham Rozal Bais Rishon Neged Avram. The first Beit Hamikdash was connected to Avram Avinu, which we're learning about now in Lechacha. Shakoi Ha V'lo Niskaim. He was called a mountain, and it was not established. And we learn out Shacharis from Avram, and where did he pray on a mountain? So Avram is representing the first Beit Hamikdash, and it didn't continue. Beis Hasheni Neged Yitzchak Shakoi Sadeh V'lo Niskaim, and we know that the Yissacher Avinu was in the fields davening mincha, and the second Beit Hamikdash connected Yissacher Avinu, and it also wasn't, established forever. But Bayis Shlishi B'Meher V'Yameinu Neged Yaakov Shekoi Bayis, and that was Yaakov Avinu's Beit Hamikdash is called a Bayis, and that's Morav Arvit, which once again is connected to Chanukah, because Chanukah is all about the night. It's much longer, and we're davening in the night. We're lighting up the night with the Neiris Chanukah. It's the time of Arvit. We daven Morav, and before we light the candles, and bringing down the light of Yaakov. We're going to get more and more into the light of Chanukah, and the Parshas of Yaakov is much more revealed. Kshuta Kai, because Yaakov is connected to this concept of Emes. Emes is forever. Yikim La'ad. Beis Yaakov Hu Nelecha Bo Hashem, because Yaakov went ahead in the light of Hashem. It says, Bnei Yissacher Tiksiv Titain Emes LiYaakov. and Hashem gave the truth to Yaakov. Kshuti Kai is these two pillars of truth. Nitin emes liYaakov. Now you look at the letters of emes, it has legs which stand on it. Yeah, emes, people that are emestic, they're truthful people, they have a kiyum, they last forever. Their legacy lasts forever. Their music, their talent, their creativity, their poetry, their works of Torah, they last forever. Why? Because they stand on legs that are forever. Aleph has two legs, and Mem has two big, strong, middle leg and a side leg, and a Taf has two legs. Whereas Sheker is all on a point. Shin is on a point, Kuf is on a point, Resh is on a point, and it's easy to fall over and not last. So the key with Yaakov is he was Midas Emes. Please the first Kavim Soy Kloi Kav Yamin V'Chesed LaAvram Kavim Small Pachidis. It was interesting because Rosh Shlomo gave a shir in Tikka Medina, and it was connected to this whole concept of Midas Teferes, which is the what we're talking about with Yaakovinu. It's the one that combines both Chesed and Gevurah. And you can't really get to Teferes until you first brought together Chesed and Gevurah, because it's a combination of both. You need both Avram and Yitzchak first before you can get to the Yaakov. So the concept is that in Medina Eretz Yisrael, you first have to have the Man Shema B'Ahava, the love for Hashem and for Klal Yisrael and for Torah, and that comes together with removing the enemies from the land. That's the Gevurah. You have to remove all the enemies, all the negativity from the land. We have to do that. And then we can get to the level, and then once again remind ourselves to dedicate our learning to the soldiers who are doing that, removing the negativity from the land. And once we're together with Chesed and Gevurah, then we get to Teferes. And that's why it has a kiyum, because it's resting on legs, it's balance, it's truth. We've got rid of our enemies now, we're sitting in the land of Eretz. So now we can fill it up with Torah and light and spirituality. The third Beit Hamikdash, fill up the home with the right kind of light that we need to have joy and happiness. Honikra emes is I'm in small emsa be'alef base. Hine lefize tavin kevin shechodesh zeh anim mekavim sheyeh bo hinach haba shlishi emes liYaakov kolos kol hakavin rosh sof emsa. Okay, nikra chodesh zeh rosh haTorah bebeis emsa Torah vav gichon sof Torah lamed. Oh wow! So if you look at the three big letters of the Torah, the beginning of the Torah is a base. It's a big base for Bereshis. The middle letter is a Vav, it's a big Vav. And the word of Gichon, the snake's on its base is Bereshis. The snake, the Gachon is Gichon, is the snake, and it had a big Vav, and it's representing the snake. And then the Torah ends off, so for Torah, YISRAEL, Ein YISRAEL, is a big Lamed. And what's that? Those three letters are Bul, base, Vav, Lamed, this Chodesh. So this Chodesh has in it the three big letters of the Torah from beginning, middle, and end. And that's what Emes is beginning, middle, and end. Aleph, Mem, Taf. Aleph is the beginning letter, Mem is the big middle letter, and Taf is the end letter. So we see the connection between Emes and this Chodesh. So there's a tremendous koach of Emes in this Chodesh. Shlishi Emes, Li'Yaakov, Kol Kavin Rosh Sof Emsa. The end, the beginning, the end, and the middle. Okay, Chodesh is there. Rosh Emsa HaTorah Vav Gichon Sof Torah Lamed Zeh Tabin Gam Kseda Hinach Shal Batim Begimul Chadoshim Shal Bnei Shal Rochu. And this is the state of the Hinach of the houses, the 3 months of the children of Rochu, because she's a Keres Abayis. Rochu was a Keres Abayis. She's the foundation of the house. Halo Aseidahu Hinach Bayis Rishon Shuneged Avram Yamin Chodesh Tishrei. So Avram's connected Tishrei. Hamiyucham Ephraim, Rosh Dego, Yomin. So Ephraim is also to do with this concept of being on the right, on the side of Chesed. Hina Chabay Sheni Shuneged YITZCHAK, Kavasmul, Chodesh Kislev. So we're going to learn about Chanukah. We see with Kislev is about getting rid of our enemies. The miracles Hashem did for us to protect us from the Gezeres. That's what we're just learning about in Hilchos Chanukah. So that's the Chodesh of Gevurah, of Yissacher with the keshet, the bow, like the symbol of war, of shooting at the enemy to remove them. That's the end of the Dagolim of the camp. That's Binyamin. Binyan Atich neged Yaakov Kavim Sois, and the middle path, the middle way is the binyan of the future. This is the building of the future. This connects to Yaakovinu. So it should be seen in our days that this month is the middle month. Miyuchas LeManasha That's the middle month we're just learning about now, which we're sitting in now in Cheshvan. So like Cheshvan's bridging between Tishrei and Kislev, between the Yomim Tovim of Yom Namorim and Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur Sukkot to Chanukah, and Chodesh Cheshvan is the middle, the bridge between them. This middle path, joining them two together. Mochem Acher, Debrenu Barichas is Shama Yosef Deles Menashe, Meledis Menashe. So when Yosef had Menashe, Kineshani Alakim Etz Kol Amali Ve'ein Kol Bais Avi, Beis Yaakov Ein Kan Mekom El Aruch. So the problem is that there was no Yom Tov given to Cheshvan. So the point is, the tikkun is, the Yom Tov that will be given to Cheshvan will be the building of the third Beit Hamikdash. It's left open for the third Beit Hamikdash to fill up this Chodesh, this 8th month, with soul, with Neshama. Shmona is also Neshama, 8th days of Chanukah. So idea, Shemen Zayis. This idea, Shmona, Neshama, this idea of being filling up the Chodesh, the 8th month, Menashe, with the Beit Hamikdash, with the third Beit Hamikdash. And that's what we're doing the avodah now to bring, but we have to do it together with Chesed and Gevurah, with having love and removing our enemies, and then that's based on the shir from Rosh Hashanah, and then we can have the Torah and the light of the Beit of Shlishi, the third Beit Hamikdash. Okay. I think we'll stop here. Next time we'll start learning a bit about maybe a little bit more on the Chodesh Cheshvan, or I think we should start getting into the Netzach Chanukah. Yeah, I think we're going to get into the Netzach Chanukah, Chodesh Kislev and Tevis. So we're getting more into that, and we'll leave Chodesh Cheshvan for now. The main thing we should just daven, being that we're now going to move forward, that we still have tremendous light and tremendous work to do. Parshas Lechacha and Vayera, and Bez Hashem will be in London, Chaisar and Toldus, and then coming back, Parshas after Toldus is YITZCHAK, so I'll be coming home that Shabbos, so that week. So the idea that we have to use these Chadoshim of Avraham and Yitzchak, of all the Parshas of Avraham and Yitzchak, we should use this Chodesh of Cheshvan to really get the most out of the Chesed and Gevurah, and the avodah of our avos, of our forefathers, Ma'aseh Avos Siman Abanim. It will be a sign for us as the children of them, that will have whatever the great things they did will translate to us and be schus for us, a merit for us, and it will give us koach to prepare towards the light of Yaakovinu and the Beit Yaakov, this idea, we have this beautiful light that will light up the darkness and give us clarity and give us shefa and give us all the brachas we're looking for. And that's the big avodah, right, during this winter months, to hold strong even in the darkness, in the night, and to keep strong even when we don't know what's going to be, with the future and stuff. Even with a Trump presidency, we don't know, what kind of enemies and difficulties lay ahead. There's a lot to sort out with the wars in Ukraine and Russia and Israel and Gaza and Lebanon and Iran and Machshamam and all the different other enemies that there are. Obviously not to the people, but to the terrorists. We need to remove all the terror from the world, and to be strong about that, and not to be weak. And hopefully Trump is the right person to have that, show that strength, and he'll be a shliach tov. But even more importantly, Am Yisrael will do our shlichus by being all the goyim, by lighting up the world with truth and values and Torah and good business and doing things the right way. And Eretz Yisrael will become a place of tremendous slacha, tremendous shefa and bracha in the office, and in everything we're doing in the home. We'll bring the light of Hanukkah into our homes and be mefasim the nace, the miracles that Hashem doing for us throughout all of history, all the way till now, and continue to grow those miracles into the Gula Shlema, the ultimate miracle of Mashiach Sekenu, and all of Klal Yisrael doing tshuva b'ahava b'simcha, and binyan b'ashlishi b'mhei v'meinu. Amen.